and civic duty and all of that has been around being with people. And so what do you do when that has been taken away? Like, I couldn't even look around for things to do because everything that I ever wanted to do was about people, was about being together. So suddenly I felt completely lost. I felt completely unnecessary. And that was a horrible feeling for me. And I've never really told anybody about this, but that's what showed up for me. And I became afraid because I couldn't imagine, I couldn't even look forward. I didn't know what that was about because there were so many variables that I couldn't account for. I didn't know everything, you know, and I think that I'm used to living my life knowing everything. I have to know that this is there. I have to know that this is there to kind of move into it. I have to know something to do something, which is funny because I've often told people that you don't need to do that. Do it and you'll know it instead of if I know it, I'll do it, you know? And it took me a while of sitting in this weirdness before I started noticing young people, because the value that music and performing has brought to the world, I mean, it has brought a lot, and it's brought a sense of purpose to so many people, and it's given people a reason to go outside of the house. I think a lot of people realize that now. You know, they went out to go to the movies. They went out to go do things with people. And once that was taken away, you can laugh about it and go, oh, how boring it is, or, you know, how boring my town is, or whatever. We didn't know boring. We didn't know boring until they told us we can't leave our houses for months. That's boring. And I can't be around my friends. I can't hug them. I can't, that's a whole other level of things. And I feel like there's an appreciation now for the simple act of going to a room full of people and sitting there and listening to music, or listen to opera, even if you don't like it. The opportunity to do that is something that I feel now pulls the world forward, but we're still in this place, this kind of holding pattern. And I think for people closer to the adult thing, it's brought up a lot of fear, but fear looks backwards. You're only afraid of something that happened before and you are imagining it happening again. It may not even be there, but you're scared that it's going to because you already know that it's possible. And what we need to do now, I'm recognizing this for me, and I'm encouraging you guys to do it as well, is to look forward. Because truthfully, we don't know what's ahead in either thing. Trying to calculate or say, oh, well, you know what's going to happen is, or what's probably going to happen, all of that is stupid. Because if you had said that same thing in February, what's probably going to happen, nobody counted on COVID being part of the story. So now we're in this, and people are making all these other guesses about things, but that's usually based on the worst that can happen. You guys are the best that can happen, because you guys have choices that you can make that none of us thought of before. We are too full of things that have happened already. You guys are still making things up. You have choices, and choice is your greatest power. And a weird thing about the choices you make, they may not be things you've ever thought about before. And when you're creating something new, the only good roadmap is your imagination. Don't let people tell you what you can't do. You just say, you know, I can't do it yet. Because everything that you have, the light bulb, that was not real at one point. And people told him thousands of times that won't work. And now you got 50 light bulbs in every room. Possibility is something that you guys have at your fingertips in the middle of all this, because you've actually learned to work with how screwed up everything is. You've actually come to a camp in your house and learned stuff looking at a screen. That's awesome. You have brought a sense of togetherness in something that is flat, in something that has you separated. But I felt that. I'm watching all of you in this very unusual way of seeing performing, an unusual way of seeing a show choir, an unusual representation of friendships. And I'm touched by it. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you guys for trusting them to give you this opportunity and make it something worth your while. And I want to thank you, David and Kara. Y'all, thank you all for doing this. This is not at all what I planned to say, by the way. And I certainly didn't plan to get upset. But I was just touched by what you guys did and what you guys were doing. I was so worried that all of this could just fall apart. But I hadn't thought about you. I hadn't put you guys into my computer and said, but what about their strength? What about their kindness? What about the love they share? What about the understanding they have? What about the integrity they want to bring to it? What about their humanity? That's the part I hadn't thought about. And you guys have made me think of that. So keep bringing that, please. Keep believing in the best of the world. Leave somebody thinking the worst of the world. Leave that to the older people. We've got it. We've been doing it for a long time. We know how to do it much better than you. You keep believing in the best of the world because you are why it will be better. Please hear that. You are why it will be better. It's because you said so. You will also be why it will be worse if you say so. I'm encouraging you to lean toward that better. Simply because you showed up to do this, I have some sense that maybe you believe that it can be better, that you look ahead and you see some possibility. You look forward and you see a day that you can't see right now that maybe we're blinded to. Move toward that. Let your heart lead you. Let your passion lead you. And don't give your fear a place to take root in you. Because fear, as an acronym, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. Fear can't kill you. It's just the things that you make up and the things that you let fear do to you. That's the killer. You guys have faith and do this with love and know that I send you all of mine. Thank you.
So, thank you so much. Wow.
Woo!
You're insane. Like, what a gift. What a gift. You are heaven. I mean, you have been with us since day one for this camp. And it's really, it's been such an honor to know you. And I met Kye years ago in Kansas. We had to choreograph
Boys.
Soul Man. Yeah. And they asked me to do it, and he's like, David, I can help you just a little bit. But I had it done, and then he came in, and we worked really. It was kind of a really great pairing, and he gave me a little more. I was a little less Hollywood and a little more. You just gave me some soul.
Inglewood. I gave you some Inglewood.
Yeah. You taught me many lessons in this life, Kye. So thank you. Thanks for sharing your, everything you've shared with us for over the years. It's just, we just can, and anyone have anything they'd like to say to Kye? Counselors, anyone unmute and just say a couple things to Kye and how special, he is to you, please, Kara.
Thank you so much for talking to us. This was really inspirational because I personally was having a really hard time finding motivation during this quarantine to keep trying new things, but this was really awesome. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I understand, Kylie. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think it was so inspirational to hear you talk, especially like I've been so like it's hard to like think of what the future is gonna hold because we don't really know, and it's really inspirational to hear you say that we're gonna keep going and keep fighting and make things
Yeah.
better. So thank you.
It was really awesome to hear you speak because personally, I'm really worried about my senior year and like what it's gonna bring and what's gonna happen. But just hearing you talk and like saying that we just have to keep going and just about how happy you were when you saw us dance, it made my day.
Made mine too. That's awesome. I want to say one more thing, and this one is the kicker. And it kind of dovetails off what Grace said, is that you don't know. There is that. Well, this guy once said something that really blew my mind, and it's really simple. There's something that you don't know, the knowing of which could change everything. There's something that you don't know, the knowing of which could change everything. Take, for instance, in February, the something you didn't know was what a pandemic would look like. There's something you don't know, the knowing of which could change everything. Or tomorrow you might meet someone that you fall in love with, but you don't know that right now. Right now, there's something you don't know, the knowing of which could change everything. It could be very subtle, like you don't know how to speak another language. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know. Somebody's roaming around this planet looking to meet you right now, but you don't know them yet, the knowing of which can change everything. So recognize without the knowing, that's the good news. The not knowing is the good news, because the knowing of which could change everything and in any direction. But there's something, that's the nature of possibility, of something being possible. There's something you don't know, but the knowing of which could change everything. Hold that in your heart and recognize that it's still happening. It's all happening. It lies not in what you know, and sometimes not even what you don't know. It's what you don't know, you don't know. So it wouldn't even occur to you that it was missing, because you don't even know you don't know it. You're looking somewhere else for it. You guys can make the impossible possible simply by dreaming it. And that's real talk.
Wow, incredible. Life changer. Thank you. Boy, life changing moment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys, I love you. Now I got to go wipe my eyes and shit and stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, you too, Mr. Kye. Thank you so much. Amazing.
Hey,
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Great seeing you. All right. Wow, that was a gift, right? Come on, like how many